What's up, everybody? This is Bree from Young, Saved, and Free, and I'm back with this week's devotional. For everybody that's new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Brianna. I am the creator and founder of Young, Saved, and Free. And for everybody that's been here, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I hope that everybody is subscribed to my channel as well as my mailing list by clicking the link down below. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This week's devotional is called The Biggest Decision. So, we're just over a week over into 2020. It's crazy, right? Like, it's insane. Like, who do we think we are? We in a whole nother decade out here in these streets. But, of course, with every new year, there's New Year's resolutions, and we leaving that in 2019. We leaving that in 2019, blah, blah, blah. But how many of y'all have really stuck to it? Like, I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to call it out. Y'all still sticking to that stuff? Because what's today, the 9th? Okay, so we 9 days in. You still sticking to it or not? Like, come on, sis, tell the truth. But, what about the visions that you had for this year? And what are you going to do when the vision isn't executed the way that you thought it would? And what are you going to do when you have a bump in the road? Like, there's only, really and honestly and truly, there's really only one thing that you can do at that time, and that's trust God. So what he brought me to was Mark 5, and it's the story of Jairus. I think I'm saying that right. Jairus. Yeah, it has to be right. I used to think it was Jairus, but I think it's Jairus. Jairus. And so in Mark 5, verses 21 through 24, we see that Jairus' daughter is ill. And, I'm pretty sure when he imagined his daughter, he didn't see this illness for her. And and you're probably saying, why do you say that? But just think about it. Like, any parent, any person that's ever carried a child, they don't say, oh, I hope my child has cancer. Oh, I hope my child has this, that. Oh, I hope my child has cerebral palsy. Oh, I hope my child has whatever disease. Like, they don't see that. They don't say that. Nobody says that. They don't, they don't say anything like, they don't say, oh, I hope my baby died young. Like, who says that? Nobody says that. And so honestly, most people try to imagine what their children are going to be like. Like, they're like, oh, she's going to be a lawyer. She's going to be a doctor. He's going to be an athlete. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. Like, we all try to speak these things over our children because that's what we desire for them. Nobody desires for their child to be ill. And so with Jairus, I know that his expectations weren't for his daughter to be as ill as she was, to be lying on her deathbed, literally. Like, I can only imagine how much urgency he had left in him, because he had to muster up all his strength to go find Jesus. And he had to go talk to him. Like, listen, my daughter is ill. I need you to come see about her. And so that's what we see in Mark 24 through 34. We see that Jesus is going with him to his house. And this is actually where the woman with the issue of blood comes up. Now, as much as I have grown up, reading the Bible, trying to understand what was going on, I've been doing this for a long time. And even as an adult, when I really started taking church seriously, I never knew that these stories went hand in hand. I didn't know that Jesus was on the way to Jairus' house when the woman with the issue of blood happened. I didn't know that. So it's, honestly, that's why you have to read the Bible for yourself, because since they don't tell you this stuff in Bible study, they didn't tell me this stuff in Sunday school. I ain't never heard this whole like this. I said, wait a minute, this is the woman with the issue of blood. What's going on here? And so, anyway, y'all know me. I'm a little ADD. I can only imagine what Jairus was feeling at that moment, because they're in a crowd of people and he's with Jesus. You are literally with a celebrity, okay? Like, this is the equivalent of walking around with Michael Jackson. And Jesus turns around because somebody touched him. If I was Jairus, I'd be like, bruh, do you not see this crowd of people around you? Of course somebody touched you. What do you mean you felt your virtue leave you because somebody touched you? Of course somebody touched you. But he didn't do that. it was evident that somebody was going to touch him. But what caught my attention was that it wasn't like she groped him or anything, or she grabbed him. She literally touched the hem of his garment. Like, I barely feel when people are pulling my hair. Like, not my real, but like my wigs and stuff, when they like be playing in my curls. I barely feel it. But like, and somebody has to really put pressure down for me to feel when they're touching me, like touching my clothes. But she touched the hem of his garment, the part that's like on the floor, pretty much. And he felt it. And so the Bible never says that Jairus got upset about it, and that, it never says anything like that. And I'm starting to realize that with a lot of Bible stories, there's never really much there's never a talk about people's emotions when things are going a little bit differently. So like when Mary was starting to show with Jesus, they didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about how Jairus felt when Jesus stopped being on his way to heal his dying daughter to deal with somebody that touched his clothes. Like, he not even that really touched him, but touched his clothes. But I honestly and truly, for Jairus to witness that was absolutely necessary in that moment. Even if he would have been upset about Jesus stopping what he was doing to see what was going on with this woman, it was necessary for Jairus to see that. Because if if you're really honest, when things start to go a little strange, it's not always that you have this unshakable faith. That's not realistic. It's not always like that. It's hard. It's hard some days when you feel like, God, I'm trying to trust you, but this ain't looking right. This ain't looking too good. How you want me to trust you, and I don't know what's gonna happen. There's some days where it get like that, and a lot of people don't talk about it. But you have to understand, this man's daughter was dying. Like, she literally was dying. And he used the little bit of strength he had to leave his dying daughter, who he may never see her breathe her last breath, to go get Jesus to heal her. And Jesus stopped from going with him to deal with this woman in the street. But what if Jairus didn't really believe that his miracle was able to happen? What if he didn't think that Jesus was really able to do it? What if he just went with no real faith? And that's why I said it was necessary for him to encounter the woman with the issue of blood. Because, and I hate that the woman doesn't have a name. Like, I really hate that she doesn't have a name, because I don't like that there's so many people in the Bible that Jesus has done miracles for, but they don't have names. There's the woman with the issue of the blood, the lame man, the blind man at the pool. What is it? The lame man at the pool of Bethesda, the blind man. Was the man at the pool of Bethesda blind? I don't know, but y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all these people with all these issues, but none of them have names. They're identified by their issue. So the woman with the infirmity, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we identified like that? But that's another story for another time. That's, you really want to know about that? Watch the I Forgot Who I Was series. Like, just watch that, because I'm not about to go into this again. Like, I'm not. But for Jairus to see this woman who has had this issue 12 years while his 12-year-old daughter is dying, and to see that this woman mustered up all the faith that she had, not to get Jesus to have a conversation with her, but for Jesus to walk past her so that she could touch his clothes. She said, Jesus, you don't even have to touch me. Let me just touch the hem of your garment, and hopefully I'll be healed like this, because I've literally spent up everything that I have to get healed. I've literally went against the law to get healed today. I've done everything that I have. I've been on the outskirts of town by myself with no one, because I'm unclean for 12 years. But I need you to heal me. And I came here today so that you can heal me, because I believe that you can do it. And to see that happen, and for her issue to be resolved immediately, Jairus needed to see that. Because I don't know if Jairus really in the heat of the moment, I don't know if he really believed. But you would have no choice but to believe at that time. Like, if you witness something like that, you would have no choice but to believe. And so she she did everything that she could to get her miracle. And what am I saying right now? Brianna right now is saying that your faith determines your miracles. If you don't believe that God can really do it, then what are you even going to him about it for? Because that's why it's important for a lot of people to pray, Lord, help my unbelief. Because I want to believe everything God says about me. I want to believe everything God says. I do. Because I know that if he said it, it's going to come to pass. I want to believe everything that he says. But some days it's hard. Some days it's hard for me to trust him even when I don't understand what's happening. And so I've said this to you all before, that God doesn't deliver miracles to people. He delivers them to places. If you're not in a place in your faith where you really believe that God can do those things, then he's not going to do it. He's not. If I wouldn't have never believed that God could heal my body, it would have never happened. But my faith told me, don't take this medication. I'm not saying that's a story for everybody to not take your medication, but that was just my story. They tried to put me on medication. Someone said, don't take it. I said, okay, I'm not going to take it. I went back to the doctor. Probably 8 months later. They kept calling me to refill my medication. I wouldn't go get it. And I went back to the doctor to have a follow-up MRI. And as scared as I was, I still went. And they called me and said, everything is gone. Everything. So, why is it that, even with that, God does, specifically with that miracle for me, I believe that one was for somebody at my church. And I'm not going to put her name out here. But she went through something similar and then found out she was pregnant when they tried to tell her that the same thing that was wrong with me was wrong with her. And she was there that night. And the night that I told my testimony, and if anybody knows me, they know that I am very to myself. I don't talk about what's happened to me very often. I don't talk about the things that God has done, the things that God has done for me. Excuse me. I don't know why I can't talk right now. I don't talk about it like that. I keep it to myself. I might say something here and there, like even the small things are miracles, or even the small things are still blessings or whatever, but I'll never go into detail. A lot of people just don't know my story. But it just so happened that a week before my 25th birthday, I found out about my results. And I actually had went to the doctor months, probably a couple of month or so before then, and they never called me. And so when I went back, and they called me, and I went to my pastor and told him what happened. He said, I need you to tell this during our testimony service next week when we have Old School Sunday. Or it was like Super Sunday or something like that. It just so happened that it fell on my birthday. That Sunday was going to be my birthday. And I was just like, Pastor, I can't do that. And he said, but I need you to do this. I said, okay. And so for somebody who would come in and not say a word, to get the mic and tell my story, I didn't know that so many people were struggling with that. Sometimes God allows miracles, not just for you, but so that other people can know that God is still able. So I remember telling my story, and I looked at the ground the entire time because I said, I cannot do this. Like, I literally was like, and I gained 70 pounds, and I was scared, and they told me that Sister Recovered I literally looked at the microphone the whole time, like, why is this in my hand? Like, that literally was me at that time. But when I looked up, I didn't realize so many people were struggling with that. The whole church shouted down with me that night because we all got issues, but God delivers us from them all. Like, he just knowing that your testimony can help one person can, that can help somebody else be delivered from their problems too. And so in verses 35 through 36, I think that really is the turning point of the story. If you ask me, that is the turning point in the story, because at that time the messengers come to Jairus and say, your daughter's dead, so I don't even know why you even fooling with Jesus right now, because he can't do nothing now, no way, she already dead. And so Jairus is at a crossroads. He literally has to decide, Am I just going to take this news and just decide that I'm going to have to deal with it like the same way everybody else has to deal with the issues? Or do I still have faith that God is able to do the impossible? And so that was the biggest decision. Deciding that decision he made, right, it was going to make or break his story. And so what really, the single most important verse in this scripture was verse 36. And that's where Jesus said to him, don't be afraid, just have faith. Jesus was telling him, listen, I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about what they talking about. I'm telling you, everything is going to be all right. I remember when I first went to COP, there's a song, I got a feeling that everything's going to be all right. Oh, I got a feeling everything's going to be all right. I got a feeling everything's going to be all right. Be all right, be all right, be all right. I know I'm a little pitchy. I'm, church to my head, not my heart. But that was literally what I felt in that moment. Like, I got a feeling everything's going to be all right. Jesus just told me to just have faith. Jesus literally told me, black out everything else they're saying over here. Look at me. Pay attention to me. I'm telling you, it's going to be all right. And so when you decide to take God at his word, that is the single biggest decision you ever make in your life, because God is in control of everything. Even when situations look like it's over, God is still in control. So and what happened in verses 37 and 40 is also something very big that some people just have to do sometimes. And so verse 34, I think. 34 or 35. That's when the messengers came. They was like, you know what? Just ignore Jesus because he can't fix this. No way. Because she already did. There was a crowd that was still following them. And Jesus wouldn't let them go. Because Jesus needed Jairus to believe. Like, to for real believe. There is something on my lip. Jesus needed Jairus to believe for us. So he, said, you know what? You. And let's see, Peter, James, and John, they can come with us in here, but the rest of them, they can't go because Jesus said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And it's important to know that everybody can't be there for your miracle. They can be there for your testimony, but they can't always be there when your miracle is happening. Because they really do affect your faith. Because when Jesus told them that she was only sleeping, everybody laughed. Now, I'm not Jairus. I'm not that confident where I can deal with everybody laughing at me. I can't do that. That's just one of the things that I'm like, I don't think I can do that. But what Jesus did was he said, you know what? We're going to take this little group right here. And we all gonna touch and agree that she gonna be all right. Even if the multitude, the majority of the people that's here are laughing, we are touching and agreeing that it's gonna happen. And so that's what I mean when I say you have to be able to block out the noise. When you decide to listen to God, it's almost like, I don't hear anything but God. I don't care about anything but God. I don't see anything but what God said. You know what I'm saying? Like, it means sometimes in order for you to get your miracle, you have to do that. You have to cut off all negativity. You have to cut off some friendships. You have to, get rid of some people in your life. It's almost like, and I think I've said this before in another video, for people who are in rehab, trying to build themselves up from a low place. They can't keep being around people that they were in that place, because those people still thinking the same way that they used to think. Like, I can't be around that. If I want to stop smoking weed, then I'm not going to be around people that smoke weed all the time. I can't do that, because it's going to be a bad influence on me. It's not going to help me grow from that. It's going to help me grow back into it. I can't do that. I can't do it. And that's, for some people, that's just what it is. I can't stop. I can't grow into who God called me to be if I'm still hanging with people that don't even know if they believe in God. that don't even know. I can't continue to grow in faith if I continue to be around people who allow human flesh, people, to stop their relationship with the one that created everything. The one that created. How do you have a relationship with your mother and with your father, who physically created you, but the person that really, really created you, you can't deal with because these people misrepresented him. I can't get with it. I'm sorry. I can't. I had to, once I got to a place where I said, you know what? This don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. But I chose to not deal with those people anymore from a place of desperation. Of I am desperate for God. I am desperately need Him to do something. The same when we talked about the state of dysfunction last week and having needs. That's the place I was in when I decided to cut those people off. Because I needed to have this miracle. I needed this breakthrough. I needed this elevation. I needed all of this. And so when you decide to have faith, that's when you see the miracles. That's when you see the impossible things. Even if other people around you don't believe, they gonna see it. And they can be like, you know what, I knew something. There wasn't nothing wrong with her in the first place. I knew that this wasn't it wasn't that deep. And I knew that, it could be easily fixed. That she was just making it a big deal. Let them say whatever they're going to say, but what they ain't going to say is that I didn't get what I prayed for. Like that, and that's the thing. In Mark 41-42, that's when the girl got up, and it says everybody was totally amazed. Yeah, you amazed because you look stupid because I went to Jesus and you told me not to, and now I got my daughter back. The same daughter that was 12 years old and was dying. The same year she was born, this woman had an issue of blood and she was healed. I seen it today with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. And I'm just, you have to make this decision, you guys. I'm telling you. This is hands down, choosing God is the biggest decision of your life that will make you or break you. It is what it is. It is it's just take him at his word. That's all I got for you. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.